Good evening and welcome to the inaugural edition of the Demur Podcast. Like any good news outlet, we're going to have a very varied programme of events on tonight. We're going to be discussing such things as the news, and got a special feature coming up, which I'm not going to announce because that'll be giving things away prematurely. And we're going to play some music as well, and we're not just going to play our own music, although we are going to play some of our own.
That will be an element.
First of all, yes? Can I help you?
Sorry, I need to check that the music was
that was actually a technical thing. Although it looked like you were just.
This might be more complicated than it seems.
It looked like you were vying for the limelight. Well, don't worry about
Leave
that.
the mouse
because,
play, AJ.
Why don't you just discreetly pass it down the line, and then by the time it comes up, it won't matter.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
We're going to start off with something which I like to call show and tell. That's show and tell. And this does cast me back to my primary school days when someone might bring in their favourite Lego set and someone else might bring in a pube that they found in the shower. So show and tell, what I actually meant was I'd like you both to show me your track and tell me all about it. Tell me all about it. And I think because James's track selection, I am reliably informed, involves a bit of tech to kind of cue it up. So maybe we should.
I think we should hit OJ
go
first.
with OJ first.
Go with mine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So all the tech is here. Just
Wait.
Anyway, "Nighttime Worker" by Sex Swing is what is the song I'm going to play. Which is, but I think some of them are from Manchester. I know definitely one guy called
Is
Jason.
this about prostitution?
It could be. It's very hard to
This
discern.
is a Christian show.
What the lead
We
singer
did establish earlier that we're recording live from Stockport, which is 75.2%. Was it?
Christian, 75.2. The
Which is
German
absolute
metropolitan
rubbish,
borough
by
of
the way.
Stockport, by
Which
the way.
is absolute rubbish.
Important to discern.
Sorry, yeah. Central Stockport's a little bit less Christian.
Yeah,
And I
about
guess we're
0.5.
one of those little pockets of heresy, basically. It's probably it's fair to say.
If you look at the other stats that we looked at earlier, you'd assume that it was like there's as many people as they deem are white people in Stockport are Christians, pretty much. So I don't know if I really believe those figures.
Yeah. Do you reckon it was someone that might attract the label social justice warrior who put together these particular statistics? And
Possibly,
maybe,
but I'd argue that's for a much longer podcast debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that another time. So either way, it's by a band called Sex
Time
Swing.
for Sex Swing.
The bassist is a guy called Jason Stoll, who
Mhm.
lived on the same street as me in Levenshulme last year, which is how I kind of got to find out about him. He plays in a band called Mugstar, who were the band who did the final ever John Peel session before John Peel passed away.
This guy sounds familiar, actually.
He's a really nice guy, and he plays in Sex Swing and another band called Barnacles of Doom, and finally he runs God Unknown Records, who do an awesome singles, like a 7-inch singles monthly subscription collection thing. A load of really weird shit on there.
Is that how you found out about this?
No, I actually saw him live in Liverpool, but I got the album recommended to me by a friend, and yeah, it's live. It's like 7 basses pummeling you in the face.
So, Sex Swing.
Sex Swing.
Uh,
Self-titled Sex Swing. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Sex Swing.
Just look for the hideous album artwork, which looks like somebody's tooth getting pulled out of human fat. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's open to interpretation. But the song,
But gory.
six tracks, fucking spot on, man.
And what was that particular track called again? Just
That was Nighttime Worker.
Nighttime Worker.
Yeah.
Right. How could I forget?
How could you?
So evocative of a world that I actually know very little about firsthand. I was once eating a pizza in Berlin, just on the main drag of the red light district,
Oh, yeah.
and I was just overhearing the kind of chatter between ladies of the night, or as you should say these days, nighttime workers,
Indeed.
and their
Prostitutes,
clientele. Well, they're the people that they were trying to entice in. And my pizza was €8.99. Something else I could have had on that street on that particular occasion was €260.
Oof! Tell you
Yeah.
what,
I was
it's a lot
like-
of pizza.
Yeah, yes, that was exactly what I thought.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
fair enough.
I probably couldn't handle that much right now.
So
I'm happy with what I've got.
Take my business elsewhere.
And then my mum pointed out what it was actually about. No, it was actually on a very awkward trip where I was with my girlfriend at the time. We weren't really getting on. So that's where that track took me.
I'm glad we could evoke such lovely memories.
Yeah, I think the sort of urgent, discordant kind of bass stabs in there that took me right back to being an awkward 17-year-old hearing about sex for sale.
That's fair enough.
That is a really fucking good analogy of that. I
That's-
like that.
That's nice.
What do you think, man?
Well, I heard that OJ's played that track to me at a drunken time before, and I remember hearing that, because especially the Night Rider section in the middle with the guitar, there's this certain guitar he uses that's like, it sounds like some kind of mental bee. I love it, and I remember loving it before. I remember I was talking to somebody at OJ's party and that song was on, and I just remember being like just listening to that song rather than listening to your mate who was really drunk. And
Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe, by the way. Who, by the way, I'm sure won't mind me saying that at all because it is a fucking good song.
We'll recap on the shout-outs later.
I dig that, man. I think it's kind of something that we've been talking about, kind of doing sometimes. I think bands. There are a lot of like math rocky bands at the moment, and I think it's absolutely brilliant that they're finally getting that genre's kind of breaking through. But it's also nice to see on the complete polar opposite scale this kind of drone simplicity coming in. I think I mentioned how good the start of that song is. Like, it is very simplistic and lets the drums carry it.
It's just relentless, man. It's attritional. It grinds you down, and the only thing that really increases is, I mean, there's slight variations, but it's just drilling into you. By that sort of second minute, you're like, okay, I'm getting it. The fourth minute, it's like, oh my god, it's relentless. And the sixth minute, it's just crushing you. It's awesome.
To be honest, man, that's like, if you as an underlying subject, I couldn't think of a better song to put on at a party or a car chase. It's a fucking tune.
Anyway, do you reckon you're ready at this point to follow that on with another track choice?
I think I am. Depends if OJ's mouse trick works.
Oh,
So yeah, I'll I know for purposes of the camera it's going to look ridiculous, but I'm going to look around the corner. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah? Are you going to introduce this?
This is BLK JKS. And
That sounds like elite speak to me. What do you mean by that? Do you mean
I
Black
actually,
Jackass?
Double black jokes?
well, OJ, I'm going to be honest, OJ said to me earlier, he said, what's that, black jokes? My brain doesn't really work like that, because that sounds a lot like text talk. And I didn't
That's not
really
how you
pick
read
up
it.
on that. I haven't listened to this song for like years, and I never really picked up on that. And you said it was like, boom, shit. Am I listening to something that's like racial? Like, something, like what's going on here? Like, is it something like? I was like, black jokes. What have I missed? And so I was like, oh no, it's okay, it's safe. I don't think it's anything to do with black jokes. I'm not sure.
It just could be a band name. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
think
That's-
it's
Black
just about-
Jacks, as in
Yeah,
Black
it could-
Jacks,
the sweet
Yeah,
brand, or maybe.
I think it's unfortunate that of all the songs I had to pick, it had to be a one that's created this particular debate.
On the hi-hat, like nice little sort of syncopated patterns on the snare and the kick. It was good, man. That really, it's funky.
Yeah, the drums had a boomingness. Like when the kick drum first came down, there was like in the first section, there's quite big gaps between it, aren't there? So it's kind of like
that also. Yeah, but hold on, that might also be to do with the fact that you played yours off a phone while we're listening here in our studio.
Yeah.
Think about these things, man.
Even so, just the mix that we heard, I was getting big boomy bass drum. No, I think it's good. It actually reminded me of like certain kinds of 80s, 90s alternative rock production, like possibly Suede and people who did things which were quite like big but without being stadium-y, big but still a bit rough edge, like big drum sounds, stuff like that.
Speaking of, just a quick aside, do you know who Suede used to manage Suede back in the day?
Somebody you regularly serve.
No, I wish. No, it was Ricky Gervais.
Wow. Oh wait, no, I did know that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did know that.
He used to be Suede's manager, I believe.
Right. So presumably he wasn't that different a character from than his comic roles as a sort of
I'm sure he's an
hard ass.
Yeah, maybe he's an embellished self.
Irritable character. Yeah.
But no, digging the track, man.
Yeah, see, I played that because I always said to myself that if I ever got an opportunity to play that track or do something with it, I feel like it's not good anywhere near. If you go on the YouTube and you look down the comments on that, it literally just looks like came here because of FIFA 15, came here because of whatever. That's what it's saying. It's a great fucking song.
People got a lot of
fun. And it should have got some radio play over here if it had that popularity. It's a shame that band aren't.
It seems odd that that's like the only way that people would have heard of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The timing, isn't it?
When I listen to that, what I'm hearing is a massive infusion of Western African music, and if you listen to the chorus of it, I mean, they're just yelping in the background at some stages, and it's like the kind of personality. It reminds me of, in a really weird way, it reminds me of how I feel when I listen to some really good Motown music, which was recorded in certain studios where you would hear in the background, like the claps and the kind of hoo-has of people. It reminds me of earlier recorded music where they're not, the bits that are light, they're taken not as seriously in the studio, they are really having fun with that record. And I know you missed the end, don't you? But, the solo, if anybody heard that, was... I couldn't define a single note from it, but I can tell you that every note suited it. It was absolutely, on point.
Where are they from? You said
I think they're from... I can't remember when I first... I think they were somewhere from either South or Central Africa, and that's really bad of me to say, but like I said, I don't know too much about this band. I just wanted to share it.
It's very much the opposite of Paul Simon.
I was going to say...
Dropping it on Grace.
I tested it Spotify and stuff, and I couldn't find much about them, and so I've just left it at this, but I'd seriously encourage anybody to find out, or if they are listening, then I encourage them definitely to come to the UK and gig, because they'd suit this scene very much so.
What was the name of the song again?
Lakeside.
Lakeside. BLK JKS.
Yeah.
Take that however you will. It could be a short form for something, or it could be just
the long form for something else.
That could just be the name in itself.
Absolutely.
Far be it from me to decide how to interpret that. Next up on the show, I'm actually going to have what I refer to as in the news, and some people might think, oh blimey, okay, they're actually going to try and talk about current affairs now.
Oh Jesus Christ!
And all I can say is, first up, we're going to go over to you, OJ, and talk about your views on Israel.
Excellent. Good man. Just that as a country, it exists, man. I like the flag.
As a state of mind.
As a state of mind. Was that one of Naz's follow-ups? Was it Israel state of mind?
It was just words. I'm in true political style.
Why did you ask
I'm
OJ?
going to make a quick U-turn here.
Why did you ask OJ?
Yeah, I feel that was a pointed thing. It doesn't reflect. Oh, it doesn't always reflect too well, does it?
What I actually meant by in the news as a section of the podcast is what's in the news for Demur. We're just going to be very solipsistic, very egocentric.
Well,
we're going to talk about what we're doing.
Are you going to announce a tour to Israel? Is that why you asked me pointedly?
He wanted to gauge a reaction because he's done a secret booking session.
Tel Aviv, here we
He's
go.
like, we're coming to Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, and neighbours didn't know what this means, so I can just say so. We talked about the VAMA. Is this?
We're going to talk about that next time, I think.
No, do we have to?
Yeah, I thought that would be more appropriate for when you're leading it.
I
should have said this beforehand, but then you can actually introduce it as like a topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying that. Okay.
All I was thinking of
That'll be a very VAMA-centric.
Got to sit
I was
on
thinking
VAMA.
exactly, yeah, special issue.
What are you do with VAMA, by the way?
I was thinking we would talk about the EP and about the stages of the release. Getting stuff on the streaming sites, getting the physicals out there.
I'd be interested to hear your favourite tracks.
Wow.
Oh yes, actually.
If you have if there is.
Ask us our favourite track. What your favourite?
No, just guy around the corner who's recording the whole thing. Of course, you two, you berg.
And whether our favourite tracks on the EP as a complete work of art are different from our favourite songs to play in the set, because that could well be.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Well, first off, say yes, we have recorded an EP. It is out now. It's available on.
We'll be flashing up some subtitles right about now with various web addresses you can visit to see
now
and hear. Yeah.
And so that's all happening. We recorded it ourselves pretty much in the building, which if you're watching us, you can see us in now. I don't know. We recorded half of it live, didn't we? And then added a lot of guitar dubs.
And by that he means 2/3 of it. He means
2/3.
Me and OJ.
Yeah.
We recorded the bass and the guitar together, bass and the drums together, and then recorded the guitar and all the vocals separate. So that's pretty much all you need to know about that.
As of an hour ago, it was up on Amazon Music.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Because basically we got approached the other day by Mark Zuckerberg and Amazon and Google. Not on the same day that it was like over the weekend.
Yeah, busy weekend.
And it turns out, as a result of everything we've been talking to them about, we are now on all social medias and stuffs and all the websites, which is great.
All the intangible.
Which is fantastic, but we would still encourage you, obviously, to come straight to our Bandcamp.
Keep liking the posts. Keep up the hype. Keeping everything up, guys. Keep pushing it. Keep the faith and keep it alive.
Well, keeping the faith is.
That's very arch enemy lamb. We've got to keep the faith, man.
in a town which is 75.2 or 74.9% Christian, keeping the faith is something which Stockport's apparently done very well at.
Indeed.
So we're going to carry on in that tradition.
So, favourite tracks. Go on, you go first, AJ, because
my favourite track on it. I'll go for the two-step. I reckon the last one, the longest one, the proggiest one. It's good fun. It's fun to play. It's fun to listen to. It's fun to listen to. It's one of those you put on and you think, I'm having fun. Yeah. And then I press play. Having a lot of fun listening to this. I don't know, man. It's got organ on it, which is just completely ostentatiously awesome. And
I'm glad you think so, because I have to say when I'm listening back to that, especially the verses, that's the feature. That's what there is in those verses now.
Yeah.
And it's very kind of
like, that needs to be recreated. There's this cracking song by a band called Jessamine from an album. I think it's called The Long Arm Coincidence, and it's essentially the first track on the album, and it starts with this just like this really kind of sinister synth. We try that again. But more sinister, if you can imagine that.
More sinister.
More sound, yeah, exactly, man. More sinister than a drummer trying to sing.
Yeah.
This is actually anything but sinister.
No, but that sounds nothing like that. But I appreciate the effort. Yeah, but essentially, it has the same note for pretty much the whole thing. It's like a 6-minute song, and there are times when it kind of elongate the note on two-step, and I think it reminds me of that, and I love that album. The song.
Do you not think that maybe with two-step we could have missed a whole chorus, maybe shortened it a bit?
No, but that's because I'm a musical purist, and I think that I think the rules of three are, if we're going back to Christianity, in fact, and I did go to a Catholic school, so I'm gonna have to sort of declare that at the door. The Holy Trinity. I'm actually talking about two-step, not religion. But the point is that three is a sacred number in many cultures, isn't it?
Well, I guess that's a good reason as any to. That puts my mind to rest, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It means that 3 verses and 3 choruses is just
as De La Soul would have wanted.
That's the one true way to write a song. And then the fact that we have a massive self-indulgent middle 8 with organs and loads of shouty vocals afterwards can only add, really.
I'd say my favourite would be Born in the Eyes on the recording version.
Okay.
Purely because that is the one song on the whole EP that has no dubs. It is. It has dubs as such as that we didn't perform more live, but there's no extra guitar, extra organ on them. So if you look at the start of the song and the chorus, it's one guitar through 2 microphones and the drum kit and the bass and the vocals. And as the song goes, it seems such a huge song to me. It stays all the way through just that. There's no added things. And I really like that about Born in the Eyes. It's why I feel it's like probably why I wanted to put it on the second and on the EP was because I feel like it really gives, once you've heard Intrinsic and you've kind of had your little waking up section, I feel that Born in the Eyes kind of gives you what Demur is. It's just Demur kind of stripped back and gives you the bipolar disorder between the shoegazy kind of dream poppy intros, the lyrical context, and then the noisy ending. If you want the noise post-punk.
So, interestingly, Searchly, which was the most recent one for us to decide finally what we're doing with it, master-wise and vocals-wise and arrangement-wise, I really like the way that's turned out, and we've recorded it before, and we've recorded quite a straight, almost indie kind of quite clean version of it, and then what's happened to it in the new version I've really been enjoying listening back to. We haven't been playing that live as much recently, so
no, it's probably the one we're actually, to be honest, let's be honest with ourselves here, that's what podcast is for. It's probably the one that we're least comfortable playing sometimes as well, I think, actually, because it's a gentler touch, even gentler than the Kuna in some ways.
Although the new kind of outro, the breakdowns and stuff are quite.
That flummoxed me for a while. Recording, getting that in time. That's
I think it has a lot to say, and I think the fact that we've sort of maybe thought about it less is interesting, because I think there's a lot.
It was quite hard as well coming out from a position where it was recorded before. And I think another thing is it's the only song that we've done that's that we've had a version of that we did before that where we had to actually look at it and go, okay, what do we do here? We've got something to compare it to. So it's quite hard to detach the two, and I definitely prefer the new one. It took some time to kind of get my head around, especially what AJ was doing.
The thing is, like, having listened to that, when I listened to that, you guys were like, oh, I've got this song called Searchly, and you played it to me, and it's got that kind of straight 4/4 with the kind of tambourine and stuff. It's got this really kind of dream poppy kind of. It's got a really nice vibe to it, and it's a lot more chilled than I think it is now. So it's I was really tempted to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna play it how it was played before.
Also in other news, we've got the videos. That's the point that I made that we could talk about. We've got one promo video out there, a bit of a notion, a sort of schematic accompaniment to the song Intrinsic with some video feedback and some typewriter tech going on, and then we've got another possible promo video in the pipeline involving some footage taken in West Yorkshire in 1902.
Which is
indeed we do.
excellent, yeah.
And yes, I had to do a lot of time travelling.
Did you? Yeah. Did you get the footage yourself? This is my next question.
I'm not going to bore everybody with the details, but let's just say, I did a lot of time travelling.
Did it involve a TARDIS? It must have.
I'm not.
Was it a GoPro, or did you use the things that you had at hand? Did you use the
Didn't use a
sort
GoPro.
of the technology?
It's quite
of the
clear I
time?
didn't use a GoPro from the footage, OJ.
You could have treated it.
How? Yeah, all right. Admittedly, somebody like you might be able to know all those kind of techie cool things about how you treat things.
I don't
But then
think
surely
that's
it's easier to
all
just use an old-fashioned camera than to use a time machine.
Right, so
and
yeah,
a
this is the thing, OJ. I turned up in 1902 in Sodden, Bradford, right?
Yeah.
And I'm there with all these Sodden kids, and I whip out a little GoPro,
Yeah.
okay? Not only am I dressed in a Sodden sheepskin, actually that might be fitting, but like I'm dressed a little bit weird for the time anyway.
Indeed.
The fact that I'm holding a GoPro
Yeah.
might be a little bit suspicious, if not alien, to the people there.
But
I'm just saying, do you not think that being the fact that I'm not the most stupid of people, I might have rented an old film camera just to try and blend in?
I would personally have gone for the sort of the GoPro in the sleeve. It's not readily apparent that you're filming them, as opposed to going and making an acquaintance who might be able to rent you a camera for the day and then rendering yourself sort of a bit weird and kooky anyway by virtue of the way you're talking or the fact that you're not wearing a flat cap.
But I very don't. Look, there's no. As soon as I open my mouth in that day and age, right, and I'll tell you now, because I'm not going to go on rants about it on this podcast, right? But I had a hell of a problem over there communicating with 1902, and to get this footage for this Born in the Eyes video, right?
We're not knocking it. We said thank you. You know.
No, I know
put a
you're
lot of
saying.
work
I know you're
into
saying
this.
thank you, but I'm just saying that, like, I'm not going to bore you with the time travel details, but there were more implications to what I did than just like GoPro and stuff like this. It was weird.
So next up is actually something that I'm gonna have to head this up. It's our special feature for tonight.
Oh my god!
Oh, is there a jingle?
Yeah, there's a sort of discordant. Okay, guys, special feature. Have either of you ever heard of a concept called EVPs? You heard of EVPs?
EVPs.
You know about EVPs? Feel like you're an EVP kind of guy.
Oh, MVP maybe? EVP, I don't, not really too sure.
Sounds like Wally's girlfriend.
Interesting you should say that, because
It's
Wally's,
nothing to do with
Wally's
that.
voice, Wally's little bleepy way of communicating is actually not a million miles off. EVP stands for Electronic Voice Phenomena. And EVP, I thought it'd be a good one because essentially it's kind of bridge between audio engineering and the supernatural. There's been a lot of enthusiasm for it since about the 70s, 80s. Probably some crossover with like the UFO cults and the sort of people that are obsessed with the Illuminati and all the rest of it. But essentially, it's the phenomenon that if you listen to white noise and you modulate it in the right ways, you can start to hear kind of ghostly voices come through. And so you get people making these recordings of basically just static, and then like amplifying and focusing in on certain bits of them, and then like sending tapes to each other, going, "Hey, listen, I can hear someone saying it's me."
Have you ever put your ear to a seashell?
Kind of a similar deal, to be honest. Except
Yeah, except there's no modulation
Except
there,
there's
so
a
that's
ghost in the
arguably
seashell.
more
Ghosts in the
ghostly.
Seashell. Very
Nice,
nice.
yeah.
And our second album,
It's
Ghosts in the
it's sort of Blackpool Pier meets Japanese anime. So I'm going to play you a clip, and I want you to tell me if you can hear any. And the thing is, if I hadn't told you that there was going to be any voice in there, you'd probably be like, "No, it's just some noise." But you might be able to hear.
It's
saying
psychosomatic, is that what you're saying?
So yeah, exactly. It's a fundamental trait of human psychology that we perceive what we want to perceive, and here's an opportunity to perceive.
Let me perceive. Just a taster, or is it 4G gone down?
Was that it?
Yeah, that was it. That's a bit shit. Let's get a
Play it right next to the microphone.
I mean,
Let's get a better
you could
example.
argue that it certainly sounded like muffled voices.
I
you could-
can't make an informed opinion until I ever hear it again. Or,
You're a very rational man. What can I say, James? You're not just going to buy into this shit on my say so.
I can't even have a cynical opinion until I know.
Hiring staff for you. That's what it sounds like to me.
Interesting.
Go on one more time.
No, I've changed my mind. It's evening star for you.
Okay. I mean, I've got the benefit of seeing what this semi-literate YouTuber has decided it says, and they think it says, "I feel sorry for you." But
No,
even
it
just
doesn't.
even the fact that OJ, both of your responses, which were, what was the first thing you said?
It's a good point. Hiring staff,
Hiring staff
for you.
and then
Evening
star
star
for you. Have that for you at the end. So obviously there are frequencies going on there. There's fricative kind of noise, and then there's vowel type sounds. We've got a gig on the 18th of November, Saturday, in 2 weeks' time in Manchester's Northern Quarter, Band on the Wall. Which is looking good. It's a free gig, which means good for you guys. You do have to click on a internet link to be allowed to come.
Which, if I'm good enough, will be here now.
Yeah. Click on this link and come see us play for free in quite a big venue, to be honest.
Oh,
We've
it's
got
great.
a bar in the same
Don't be
space.
put
and
off
just-
by the name of the event.
yeah, just
we-
ignore that.
we'll
Ignore
be
everything
sharing
else about it.
The stage.
You got to get down there early, but that's kind of cool in a way. It makes me feel a bit like we're in a play or something. We actually have to be there at 7 p.m.
And FYI, we will be gigging in Manchester again soon as well, but we'll tell you about that more later. And also, I
Also
think it's
playing in
worthwhile mentioning the London gig because.
And indeed, the one before that.
Well, no, that's what I was just saying. We'll kind of we'll bring that up later.
Okay.
Because we've just advertised one Manchester gig. We shouldn't do more than one at a time.
So we're down. Okay, so we're down in London. The 16th of December.
Saturday, 16th of December, Surya, Surya. Just basically go to King's Cross Station, turn right, walk up there for about 20 minutes. It looks like a health food shop. I think it is during the day. Downstairs in there's a gig venue, and it's looking good. And you can get tickets from us for only £6 in advance.
Yeah. And
do get in touch.
Get in touch with us.
We're actually, and this sounds a bit up myself, but I've been talking to my London friends, and they are flying out. We have 30 of those tickets, and got a good contingent already.
It's a good time.
Already ready for that.
Looking forward to playing in London,
yeah.
and we don't get out of Manchester. Well, we do get out of Manchester, but it'd be nice to go down south for a change.
it's essentially foreign as far as France, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Manchester and London, two very different places. So we're really looking forward to this one. And thank you to Absent Kelly.
Yeah, Absent Kelly Productions, who's masterminding it.
And Gareth, got to say Gareth as well for the Band on the Wall.
Yeah, Gareth as well, who as ever has shown some faith in us. And thanks, Gareth, what a dude.
Yeah.
And that concludes today's inaugural episode of the Demur Podcast. We'll be back within a few weeks for more news, comment, music, and reviews. Thank you.
That's some good hosting. That's some mighty fine hosting, boy.
Thank you to Helgi for hosting.
Yeah, cheers.
All that is right.
I'm off the piss.